Hello, everyone. I'm Lonnie,
I'm Amber.
and we are Untitled Nerd Network, brought to you by Infinity Flux out of Hickson, Tennessee. This is the first uh, October horror movie review, and this is like one of my
Yay!
all-time favorites, Invaders from Mars. I've literally seen this movie one full time, probably three scattered times. But just now was when I watched the entire movie from start to finish. This was like one of those favorites of mine that I would usually like catch on TBS. Um, or I'm pretty sure that was the channel it came on. It came on TBS
Probably. That sounds about right.
every freaking time I saw it. It was usually one of those like Saturday afternoon movies that I would be watching. When there's nothing on after cartoons went off,
Yeah.
and there would usually be a movie come
That
on at
sounds
like
pretty accurate for the year it came out.
yeah. And
Like,
it there was usually a movie that would come on at either 11 or 12. They'd usually have like a block of horror movies or a block of like, crime movies or
yeah, it was always a theme.
yeah, they would always have like Lethal Weapon 1, 2 and 4. There would always be like one missing.
Funny.
And then there would be like Invaders from Mars, the Martian Chronicles and War
Yeah.
of the Worlds,
Yeah, just random
One's coming
stuff.
on at 11, one's at 1, and the other's at like 4:30 or something.
Or the Planet of the Apes series, the original. They were good
Yeah,
about that one.
there was always one missing there too. But yeah, this movie was like one of those classics. It had some very iconic imagery, as you could see on like the little poster here. That creepy fence with like the glowing spaceship light behind it. Um, that scared the crap out of me. I don't know what it is about those fences because there was one at the beginning of Tales from the Dark Side whenever it would come on. And it was just that kind of fence in the dark or even in the middle of the
Because,
day.
like, old school scary movies, like, especially with Tales from the Dark Side, Twilight Zone, series like that. If it's out in the middle of the country, it's got one of them fences.
Of course it is.
I
Those
mean,
things are like
plain and
ingrained into my
simple.
mind. So, anyways, this is like your typical run of the mill, like invasion of the body snatchers type film. Most of it is, anyway.
Most of it is,
Um,
yes.
there's always one
It goes
person.
from that to like Starship Troopers or something
Yeah,
afterwards. Like,
and it has like one of those M. Night Shyamalan twist endings. Um, it was like, of course, there's like the kid's like, 12 or
yeah.
something, 11 or 12. And of course, the kid sees the UFO.
He's 10, actually. They said that in the movie.
Huh?
He's 10. They said that in the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So this kid's like in the middle of the night. He sees this spaceship land out behind the hill next to his house, just like in the freaking poster there. And of course, nobody believes him. Apparently, in the middle of the night, his dad goes out there to investigate, comes back acting weird. The typical body snatchers type, emotionless, robotic type deal. And
He's missing a slipper, and that what you said? 'Cause
yeah,
that's
he's missing a slipper. His feet were dirty, so you could tell he'd been out there. And the kid's like, "Ah, crap! What's going
what's
on
wrong with
here?"
him?
Well, then that night, the dad takes the mom out there, and so then the mom's acting weird, and the kid notices that they all have like this incision on the backs of their neck. So, uh, slowly but surely, people all over, teachers, policemen, everybody start transforming. They turn into like these emotionless Martian types, I guess. And, they're trying to like get
And
everybody.
yeah, and they know he knows.
Yeah.
They're targeting him specifically.
But there's like a nurse there who, uh, like believes him. She's like she finally believes him. You can tell she's kind of just wanting to understand this kid, but
Right.
finally she sees some proof and is like, oh, holy crap, there's something up. So they go to this military base.
Because his dad kind of worked there, like, sort of. It's a
Yeah.
military base. It's
But then
also a NASA base.
Yeah, but then like the dad, after he transforms, kind of goes to work for like the phone company,
Yes.
and like they're knocking out all the lines out of town, I guess, where people can't communicate, and like all the lines are busy, so they go to the military base. And me personally, I thought that was the crappiest idea ever,
Yeah.
because I'm thinking that everybody there is like,
In on it,
yeah.
or
But
you know.
luckily for them, they weren't. There were still a bunch of people at the military base who hadn't been transformed yet. There were a few that had.
Mm-hmm. But not a whole lot.
Yeah, not a whole lot at all. So,
Like if that had been made in today's times, they would have made it to where the military wouldn't have helped them. But considering when this was made,
what
yeah.
what does that mean?
Well, now they would have made it to where the military wouldn't have helped them. The military would have probably turned against them. I'm serious. I mean, look how they did on Fear the Walking Dead.
Yes, yeah, they would have torched the whole town to the ground with the innocents in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a pretty good point there.
Yeah. It was made during a different era. Made in 1986.
That is crazy how 30 years makes a difference.
It does make a difference. Makes a huge difference. But it is what it is. So anyway.
Yeah, but the movie, it goes at this point. The military realizes what's up, and so it goes from that to just a straight up military action, shoot 'em up, army versus Martians. They go into the Martian ship, shoot up every Martian. Couple of
Talk
people.
about how these Martians look.
I don't think they
Like-
were quite Jim Henson material.
No, they were. I think Joseph nailed it. Joseph watched it with us, and he said Tremors. They did kind of look like that. If you'd watched the third one, the ones that are up walking around, granted they weren't that big. They were kind of small.
I wonder if I kind of wonder if the same person did the monster designs and stuff.
I don't know. It's a good question.
Might be something good to look up.
Yeah, later.
But yeah, the you got like these monsters who are walking around on their hind legs. You've got one that looks like Krang
Big old mouth.
from the Ninja Turtles, who is
Yeah.
like the leader.
Just like that. He was a big old brain, and he
Yep.
like came down.
He had like it looked like a brain on the end of a big tongue
It was kind of gross.
that came down out of like this hole in the
like,
ceiling. So I mean, there were some really neat looking Martians in this, even though they wasn't like totally high dollar caliber. It's pretty good for 1986.
I was gonna say for 1986 they were pretty awesome. That
Yeah.
probably costed a lot of money, actually. That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
I'm thinking.
But this is not one of those movies you hear about, in the all-time greats. Probably because it really, after about 35, 40 minutes into the movie, it wasn't really that scary. It turned into more of a, suspense, military action thriller.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, it wasn't horrible, but yeah.
I mean, I don't really want to spoil the ending, but the ending has one of those deals where you think
died.
everything's all right and it isn't.
Yeah. I was like, well, shit.
Yeah, it was really messed up, and you don't really know what's going on. So, I'm not going to discuss it in too much detail in case anybody wants to go find the movie. You should be able to find it pretty cheap. I mean, I found this movie.
I mean, we spoil the endings to all of our reviews. Why is this one any different? You just say spoiler alert. And if they watch past this point, then it's their fault.
Okay. Spoiler alert.
I mean, I just think it's kind of silly.
We're going to go ahead and discuss the ending. Basically, the kid, everything kind of works out in the end. They end up destroying.
They blew it up.
Yeah, the ship, the mind control device and everything. The kid's parents are back to normal. And then he suddenly wakes up.
Well,
And, he wakes up and everything was like all a dream. Well, then the kid, the kid's parents come in there. Oh, what's going on? He tells them the whole story. Everything's good. He finally gets it out, calms down, and they close the door, and he wakes back up, I guess he just nods off, and then he wakes up, and he sees the freaking Martian lights outside, and the ship lands, just like the beginning of the movie. And so, like, he runs into his parents' room, like, screaming, "Oh my God, the Martians!" And then he starts screaming, and you don't know what he sees. I mean, what, did he, like, walk in on his parents hooking up or something? Or
Make another joke. Shut up. Or were they already aliens?
or maybe it was like a whole different kind of alien deal. Maybe they turned into aliens.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe.
Or maybe the aliens were in there eating them or something.
Well, that's probably more accurate the
Yeah.
way that movie went.
Yeah.
They were probably eating them.
Or maybe they just weren't there.
Remember they ate that teacher.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But no, I mean, I don't know if the
The
aliens
teacher ate
could
the
have...
frog and then it ate the teacher.
That was... I think they did that on purpose.
Ugh.
Teacher ate the frog. Giant frog-looking thing eats the teacher.
That's so nasty.
But that was the end of the movie. The kid screaming at the unseen...
Yes.
Whatever's happening in his parents' bedroom. Yeah, and that's the end. It's like, holy crap. But I do...
Because in classic horror, especially 80s horror, the scary person has to come back for one last scare.
Yeah, especially like the first time I ever saw that was Nightmare on Elm Street, where the girl thought everything was good, and then she hops in there and they take off, and the mom's waving at them, and Freddy busts through the door and drags her in.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
the first one
Spoiler
I saw
alert.
that on was probably Friday the 13th.
Never saw it.
Oh my gosh.
The only one I
don't
saw
even-
out of that whole series was Jason Goes to Hell, and it was decent, but I didn't think it was great.
No, you're correct on that. The first one's amazing though. But
All right. Well, that's pretty much it. I want to keep these under 10 minutes, and here we are approaching 12. But remember our October Loot Crate?
Yes.
You have until the 14th to enter that, and you have until the 22nd to enter our Walking Dead Michonne Katana letter opener giveaway. That's going to be in celebration of the Spoiling Dead and the Walking Dead
100th
episode. We're all going to be doing a live recap of that live right after the Walking Dead season premiere on October 22nd. It's going to be kind of a late night for us.
It'll be alright.
But anyway, that's it for this review. This movie,
What do you give it?
I'm going to give this movie 7.5. Because I remembered it being a lot better when I was a kid.
Honestly.
I didn't remember all the military stuff afterwards. I just remembered the scary stuff at the beginning. I didn't really care much for the military part. I felt like it dragged on a little too much. 7.5. Good movie. Good watchable movie. If you're wanting to just kick back, eat some popcorn, and watch a good little kind of scary thriller, old 1980s B movie. That's what this is good for. Maybe a once a year viewing, just to fill out your Halloween lineup.
Nah, I don't know about all that, but yeah.
It's to me, it was a nostalgic thing.
Yes.
If I hadn't seen this movie as a kid, I would have probably gave it like a 5.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm still gonna give it a 7,
Okay.
considering I've never. But this is my thing. This is totally my genre.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's better ones. And if we never watched it again, I wouldn't be completely sad, but I can tolerate it.
All right. Well, this has been the review for the 1986 remake. I never even saw the original. Probably never will. I believe that was like a 1953 movie, but the 1986 remake, Invaders from Mars. Watched it on DVD. Pretty cool little deal. And anyway, I'm Lonnie.
I'm Amber.
And we are Untitled Nerd Network, brought to you by Infinity Flux. This has been a October 2017
This
horror
has been a
movie-
horror movie review.
horror movie review.